Oh, there we are, Dave.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. Dave has been here for about, 10 seconds.
Welcome to Friday Live.
Yes, you can see the beautiful Christmas tree in the background
Oh,
there.
yeah, isn't that wonderful?
The Eastern Star always
do
keep
good
this.
work, don't
Yes,
they?
for every season they've got this place decorated.
You want to eat one? Nah, it's
I don't believe you
plastic.
better eat.
Went to a place where they have a lot of trees, and they had gingerbread men and all that, but they shellacked them.
You didn't try to eat them, did you?
Well, stomach didn't like it.
Well, I do want to say this real quick. You're in for a real treat today. We have in the house with us right now Ben Buster Taylor, and everybody in Jenkins knows who that individual is. And I cannot wait till we get to the part of the show where we get him up here and get to talking about some of the great things that he's done.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about you, sir, and I can't wait either. It's going to be real interesting.
He is really a legend. He really is.
Have good news for something you don't even know yet. Have good news for, well, it just involves Heritage TV. Heritage TV is now 100% just Heritage TV, so.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So things got resolved.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Lawsuits are dropped and everything. Decisions have been made, so it's.
So we're on in Lee, Wise, Dickinson County, and Letcher County now, exclusively, right?
Yes, and possibility of expanding back to where we once belonged.
Okay.
At some point.
Well, you can give me the juicy details after a while. What have we got going today?
Well, weather-wise, it's not looking good.
Oh,
There's a
man.
winter weather advisory for snow from noon today through tonight.
And I've got a parade to do tonight in Clintwood. That'll be real fun.
Oh, yeah.
And then tomorrow we've got the Jenkins parade and
That's at, what, 6:30?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, today mainly rain from now till about noon. So if you're watching a repeat of this, you'll see how accurate we've been. It'll mix and possibly change to snow during the afternoon, mainly above 2,000 feet. How high is it here?
I would say that we're probably around maybe 1,000 foot, something like that.
So
here.
it might be a mix right here.
Yeah,
Little or
maybe a
no
little higher.
snow accumulation. Expect snow accumulation around an inch above 2,000 feet, high in the low 40s. But the chance of precip is 100%.
One thing I will say, though, that up here at Raven Rock, just above us, that's 2,100 feet, so or something like
It's
that.
going to be bad there.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be up
At
there.
Raven Rock, listen to this. Occasional snow tonight. May be mixed with rain in the valleys during the early evening. Accumulation 1 to 2 inches. Localized amounts near 3 inches above 2,000 feet. Event total snow accumulation of 1 to 2 inches, except 2 to 5 inches above 2,000 feet.
Whoa.
Lows near 30, except 22 to 27 above 2,000 feet. Cloudy tomorrow, snow showers likely mainly in the morning. Localized snow accumulations up to an inch, highs 32 to 37, 60% chance of snow on Saturday. Partly cloudy Saturday night, lows 22 to 27 degrees. So that winter weather advisory from noon through tonight. Rain will mix and change to snow during the early afternoon, especially over the ridges. The changeover to snow will occur first at elevations above 3,000 feet during the early afternoon. By late afternoon, the valley locations should start receiving a mixture of rain and snow. Around an inch of snow accumulation expected above 2,000 feet during the afternoon hours, with little or no snow accumulation elsewhere. I expect you to do some sales calls at Raven Rock this afternoon. You
Oh,
think
sure.
you could do?
No problem. I'll just go up there,
Take a
have
snow shovel.
my
with you.
snowshoes on. And
By early evening, the precipitation will fall as snow in all areas. 1 to 2 inches of accumulation expected tonight in most areas. Localized accumulations near 3 inches above 2,000 feet. 1 to 2 inches in the valleys. Total accumulations of 2 to 5 inches above 2,000 feet, which we said before. I know that was redundant, but that was
the official
advisory
Yeah.
that they gave us. Today is Walt Disney Day.
Well, let's tell them what the date of today is, first of all.
What is today?
I believe today is December the 5th.
Right. Thank you.
No problem.
And if you're watching a rerun, it may not be December 5th. but if you were watching on December 5th, it's Walt Disney Day, marking his birth on this date in 1901. He died December 15th, 1966. Today is National Communicate with Your Kids Day. So, call
I
them
did
up
not-
and say, no,
I didn't know there was such a day. I learned something.
Well, there's a day for everything,
Yeah.
and you can go to kindersigns.com on the internet for more information on that. I think I'm going to call mine up and say, I can't come to North Carolina to your concert this
I
weekend.
don't believe you'd be able to.
I might not. We'll see. Today, you'll like this one.
Okay, what is it?
Today, I think I know other people here that might like this one. Today is Bathtub Party Day. A day to invite friends over to take turns taking long, hot baths.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
You're making this one up.
I'm not making, it's right there. Bathtub Party Day. It's sponsored by Tom and Ruth Roy of Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and if you'd like to give Tom and Ruth a call, their phone number is area code 717-279-0184.
Oh, gosh.
Ask them if you come up and take a long, hot bath at their
And
house.
be
today.
sure to call collect.
But I'm not kidding. So, where's a good bathtub with lots of hot water? Fred's house? Let's all meet up at Fred's house.
We know Fred's watching. He's not here this morning. I don't know. He may not be feeling too good.
Well, we'll be up there after the show. Go ahead and start filling the tub up. He's going to be first.
You wouldn't want to get in the bathtub after I was in it, I don't think.
We'll refresh the water.
Yeah, I know how to do the jacuzzi thing and everything.
And today is National Swap a Christmas Cookie Recipe Day. This day in 1868, America's first velocipede riding school opened in New York City to teach people how to ride bicycles. I learned how to ride the hard way on a
Yeah.
boy's bike with a chain that slipped. Oh, you know what I mean.
Oh, yes, I do. I'm hurting down there right now.
Ah.
Just thinking about it.
1929, 3 men in New York City, of course it was 3 men,
And a baby?
formed America's first nudist group,
Ooh.
the American League of Physical Culture. Others, including women, were invited to join, and the group soon, of course, held its first outdoor summer camp at Central Valley, New York. In 51, the first automatic garage door was installed in Washington, D.C. In 1952, Christine Colorful was born in Alberta. She became the world's most decorated woman with tattoos over 95% of her body. Sad day in 53. Mutual Radio broadcast the final episode of The Green Hornet.
Which had Bruce Lee on it, some people might remember.
Britt Reed and Cato.
Yeah.
In 68, the Rolling Stones celebrated the release of their Beggar's Banquet album with a pie fight at London's Elizabethan Hotel. Not Elizabethan, but
That was
Elizabethan.
one of their more innocent moments.
Yes, yeah, right. You know they were rolling stoned.
Yeah.
In 1968, aides to President Richard Nixon mailed out 66,000 letters signed by Nixon to potential administrative office holders. Among those receiving one was Elvis Presley. Judy Collins in 1970 recorded Amazing Grace. It entered the British music charts, was over here as well. It entered and exited and re-entered 7 times. Yeah. 1988, Roy Orbison died of a heart attack at age 52. Guess how old I'm going to be.
Oh, no, you're not going to be
Next birthday.
52, are you?
Yeah. In 1992, the Denver Post quoted a Department of Energy memo showing that a vital safety system at the Rocky Flats nuclear weapons plant required 43 workers to change a light bulb.
How's your left arm doing, by the way, speaking of
I
52?
still need to see a doctor.
Do you?
Yes,
That's
I
not
do.
good, but you need to get it checked
Oh,
out.
no, it's a neurological thing.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not a heart related.
All right, all right.
You want to do a traffic report? I'll do the helicopters. Oh, this isn't radio. I keep forgetting. Birthdays today. Actress Morgan Brittany is 52. I don't know who that is.
I have no idea.
Actress
Happy
Carrie
birthday.
Hamilton is 40, but Kathy told me she was deceased.
Well,
So
she would
maybe-
be 40, I guess.
Actor Ross Bagley is 15.
Don't know who Ross Bagley is.
Writer Calvin Trillin is 68.
Are these just some of your friends or something?
Singer Little Richard, 71. There's
We
one
know.
we know. Singer Ty England, 40. Singer Gary Allen, 36. Singer Tish Hinojosa is 48, and football's Art Monk is 46.
I know who Art Monk is, so
I
know a
watch
couple
that
of them.
program too on USA. It's a pretty good show, Monk.
I've not watched it, but I know some people
Oh,
who
it's a
like
really
it.
good show.
Yeah.
I love it. Questions for you.
Okay, shoot.
In 1988, the film Purple People Eaters, did Little Richard play the senator, the mayor, or the school principal?
He would have played the center, the mayor, I'd say the school principal.
That's what Kathy said. She was wrong too.
What's
The
that?
mayor.
The mayor?
Yeah, and you think about it now. Arnold is governor, so this isn't so far-fetched.
Okay.
Your horse is tired.
Okay, I don't have a horse, but if I did, it's tired.
Should you give him a bubble bath, massage his neck, or feed him some smart weed?
Feed him some smart weed.
You're right. Early herbalists recommended smart weed, also called water pepper, for tired horses from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
I didn't know what it was, but I didn't think the other two would help out too much.
And in 1658, now just think back. Harken back to the olden days. In 1658, did Virginia pass a law outlawing lawyers, bootleggers, or preachers?
I would say lawyers.
1658. Lawyers, you're right. And I don't know how they got them back. We ought to revisit that to see how that works, because, I had my fill of them. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
4 years ago today, the number one song was?
4 years ago today would have been, 1999? I will say, I have no idea.
It was Smooth by
Smooth?
Smooth. On the charts for a long time. Santana, featuring Rob
Oh,
Thomas.
yeah, I know the song well.
The number one adult contemporary song was I Want It That Way by, I was so tired of this. I was so tired of this whole thing. The boy bands. Just so awful.
NSYNC or
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah. Number one country song was He Didn't Have to Be by Brad Paisley. The number one R&B song, You Know What's Up by Donnell Jones. Never heard of it. Number one Christian hit was Unforgetful You by Jars of Clay.
Put it in.
And the number one adult Christian song was This Is Your Time by Michael W. Smith. And that's all.
Okay, well, what we'll do then, we'll go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back with Ben Buster Taylor.
Well, that was a short break.
Well, I'm sure everybody recognizes Mr. Ben Buster Taylor. How you doing today?
Fine, sir. Thank you very much for inviting me over here. It's a pleasure to come to Jenkins. I always feel I'm part of Jenkins, even though that I am from down at Millstone, a little mining camp.
From where?
Down at Millstone.
Millstone. How far away is that?
Oh, it's about, I'd say 6-7 miles. It's a little coal mining camp.
that's not far.
No.
Not far.
But I feel good about it. But my wife is, she taught school here in Jenkins. And my father-in-law was the superintendent of schools here in Jenkins in early 60s.
We've been CV Snap?
No,
Oh, who was?
Sparks.
Oh, that's right.
And she taught such guys as Wayne Fleming and
You know Wayne Fleming?
Oh, yeah, I know Wayne Fleming.
He's been on the show several times.
quite a few of the people over here, and I really enjoy coming to Jenkins. I feel good and I feel at home here.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. I've never met you till this morning, but I've heard excellent things about you from Rick. And you have such a personality and a part of our heritage in this part of the country that has to be respected by everyone.
Well, Dave, I do want to send a big thank you out to the Chief of Police here at Jenkins, Bill Tackett. He is the one that informed me of some of the accomplishments of Ben Buster. I knew that he was a legendary, decorated veteran. Some of the things that he's done is he was the pallbearer at John F. Kennedy's funeral.
Yeah, we
He
want to
was
talk about that.
sheriff here in Letcher County for 8 years. He was a Green Beret. He served in the Korean War and the Vietnam War.
Really, both.
And that's just a few of his accomplishments. But I think what he wants to talk about right off the bat today is he really cares about the veterans here in Letcher County. And he's having a little celebration, a little salute to them this evening. Could you tell us about that, Ben?
Yeah.
Yes, this afternoon starting at 4:30 in Whitesburg. We joined in with the Whitesburg parade. They having their parade starting at 5:30. And they called me up, Mrs. Banks did, and wanted to know if I wanted to participate in the parade, and I said yes. And so I put on a program I'm having names called off that got killed in the war from World War I to date. They'll be called off, and we're having from the Whitesburg High School, ROTC, to present the colors at the ceremony. And then after then, we're having somebody from Fleming and Neon to play taps. And then the VFW Club is going to give a 21-gun salute. And I've got a bushel of apples and a bushel of candy. And
So
everybody is welcome to come.
It's
We
all
appreciate
going to
it.
be happening at Whitesburg, Kentucky at 5:30, did you say today?
Ours starts at 4:30 and
At 4:30?
it'll be 5:30.
Okay.
And in the museum, I've got the top part of the post office, the old post office on Main Street. I've got the whole floor, and I have got unbelievable things in there pertaining to uniforms and history of people in the county and so forth. And I can remember we have things, the pictures of when in World War II that on Main Street they used to come and drafted. When they were drafted, they'd all come there early in the morning, bring fathers, mothers, and grannies and everybody. And the band would play them off, and everybody would cry and go on, and they'd go off to the war.
Different than today, isn't it?
Oh, it definitely
Now,
is. It is
explain to
definitely.
the folks now about this museum a little bit, if you don't mind.
Okay, and the museum that I have, it's a nonprofit organization, and it's given it's sponsored by the Letcher County
Fiscal
Tourist.
Or tourist? Okay.
Tourist, and the physical court is involved in it a little
Good.
bit. They have given it thanks to Wayne Flemings, that's
He's
a
a
friend of
veteran.
mine.
Yeah,
He's
well,
a veteran.
Your wife taught him, so he
Yes.
had to do it.
She's defeated. Oh, she's still in the education system at the present time. 43 years.
My
Wow.
goodness, congratulations.
See, I can't count all my marriages up. Come up with that
that's,
number.
that's older than I am.
And by the way, I have two sons that's accomplished a lot. I feel proud of them. They both graduated from Fleming Neon High School. Me and my wife, we graduated from Whitesburg. But I have one son that's a teacher. He has a master's degree in civil engineering from University of Louisville. He has a master's degree in math from University of Louisville. He just now recently passed the National Teachers Certification Program. And my other boy is over at Alice Lloyd. He's a basketball player. He plays ball with all these boys around here.
Well,
And he played out his eligibility, and he's presently got the JB team of Alice Lloyd. And I like him. He's 5
I'm
and 3.
jealous of both of them.
Presently, he's 5 and 3. Is what he knows their record now. And Alice Lloyd, we have a boy from Jenkins that plays on the varsity team over there.
Odin.
Oldham. He's doing real good this year. He's really doing a real good job. He had to be redshirted a year. And then we have another boy from this county that's playing ball over there. He's from down at Whitesburg. Majority of people in this area played ball with him. Winston Lee. He's a real good boy.
Yeah.
I like Alice Lloyd College. It's a good school. It's a good school.
You know much about Alice
No,
Lloyd, Dave?
no, where's that located?
It's located over at Pepper Pass. You
in-
still don't know.
It's in Knott County, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in Knott County, Hyman. It's
Oh, okay.
It's a settlement school.
I
and
know
it's
where
a-
Hyman
yeah,
is.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
real good
Yeah,
school.
you've been there.
And it's a present time now. If you ever have a chance to go over, it's beautiful. The chalets on the mountains and all this, and down into the valley, and they got the trees and everything. It's like a poster card.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I went
beautiful.
over to Hyman, a couple of months ago
Yeah.
or something, and it's beautiful country just
Yeah, it's
driving
beautiful.
over there.
And then getting back to the museum, this is sorry I got off a
That's
little
okay.
bit, but I'm
Oh,
sort of proud of
That's
it.
okay, we're a loose show.
I'm
with
sort of
loose
proud
people.
of the college over there.
There
and,
you go. We should be.
And we are it's done a good job for this area here, especially in a college down in Whitesburg. Those kids, a lot of them goes from that college over there to Alice Lloyd to get their 4-year college, and it's real good. And getting back to our museum down here, we have a lot of people in the county that is county officers that are veterans. We have our county judge executive. A lot of people don't know it right now, but county judge executive is a submarine sailor.
Oh, Carol Smith?
Yeah, Carol Smith was a submarine sailor.
Oh,
I didn't know that. We've had him on the show a couple of times, and I never did know.
no, me neither, and I have to say, I'd get claustrophobic on the submarine.
But he is a submarine sailor. And then we have the sheriff, Danny Webb, is a Vietnam veteran.
I didn't know
And,
that.
and he's
Now, I should have
done a
known
good
that
job.
from what he's done.
And what
Yeah.
I'm talking about while we're getting prison,
Oh, about the Tommy gun he tried to sell you. He's made the news here a little bit in the last year, but go on.
and then talking about another one of the members of the physical court, Letcher County Physical Court, is Winston Mead. He has set up a program for our veterans of this county to file the 214 form. We have a form that's called a DD 214, which gives you the complete history of all your military service. And a lot of people don't file this there. They take it home, they lose it, it gets burned up and so forth. But if you'll take it down to Winston Meade, he'll file it for you, it won't cost you a dime. And if you ever want to get a copy of it, you can go in and get you a copy of 214, and it's on record always.
And Winston Meade would be the county court
He's the county
clerk.
court clerk.
So you go to Whitesburg, to the
Yes.
courthouse, and
Yes,
he's
sir.
there.
And
What about families of deceased veterans? Could they do that?
they can do that correctly, because a lot of times the family, they have a program in the Department of the Army, if a burial fund. And you can go there and get your 214 if you have your father or your mother said somebody, get this 214, get it into the Veterans Administration in Louisville, Kentucky, and there's money there for you to bury that veteran's body.
Oh,
Yeah, they
well, I
are.
bet a lot of people didn't know that.
No, they don't.
I sure did.
And
I didn't either.
we have a lot of things going on in the county, and I'm trying at the present time to get our clubs, the American Legion, DAV, VFW Club, and all of them involved in this thing here. I'd love to see the American Legion on Pine Mountain is up there. Let's see them they got a cemetery up there for all veterans, homeless veterans to be buried. It's beautiful up there. And I'd love to get those people involved. They're not involved now. We've got an American Legion Club right here in Jenkins. They're not involved. I'd love to get them involved and let them tell the people what they are doing for the community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they want it neon. Now, the one that's really been participating in a lot of programs that we have in the county is the DAV. They funerals and so forth, and they're real active. The VFW Club in Whitesburg is given, they've been supporting me quite a bit just recently.
That's wonderful.
But I love to get them all involved in our community supporting our veterans of this county. Rather than sitting over there and talking and telling war stories, they can do something for the community.
Right.
If they want some war stories told, I can tell them a lot.
There you go. Well, one thing we do want to talk to you about, how in the world did it come to be that you were a pallbearer at John F. Kennedy's funeral?
Well, this goes back a long ways in life.
Okay.
I'll start with the beginning of it, that I was a member of the 11th Airborne Division at Camp Campbell, Kentucky, which we have a lot of men here in the county. A lot of people don't. Donnie Manning. Me and Donnie Manning was in the 11th Airborne Division. Donnie was in the 511th and I was in the 503rd. We hitchhiked from Campbell to home here many, many times together. And then we had the other boys, George Wojciechowski and his brother, and the Kensher boys from down here on Kentucky River. They were all in the 82nd Airborne Division. And Donnie went to Korea and Japan with the 11th Airborne Division, which was a unit of the 187 Regimental Combat Team. And a lot of people don't know this. Donnie Manning was General Westmoreland's Jeep driver.
Whoa, well, no, I didn't know that.
He sure was.
That is
He-
fascinating.
Yeah, he was. He used
Write a
to.
book.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah. But he could. He was General Westmoreland's Jeep driver, and we have a lot of guys that was in the Airborne. And after the Korean War, they started this organization of the Green Berets, the Special Forces. It wasn't called Special Forces; it was just called Green Berets. You had to be a Ranger, you had to be airborne, and you had to be combat qualified to get into Special Forces. Well, at that time, they had a warrant officer that was an administrator of the company, 220 men. And you had Reveille morning, stand up, saluting everybody out there. And he had all records in front of him. As you walked by him, you saluted him and so forth, and he followed through your records. Well, I walked by him and pulled out my records, and he just threw it over here and said, "Sign here, soldier." So that's
You
what-
got recruited, huh?
So I did. I had the qualifications.
Right.
And then it went on for years. It took, I guess, ended up to the neighbor about 4.5 years, 5 years to get qualified to go on Pacific operations with the Green Berets. You had to have a language qualification. I went out to Monterey, California. Speak Burmese. I used to. I can't say nothing in it now. But
when you
that's
had
years
to have
ago.
it, yeah.
And I went to weapons school down in Fort Benning, Georgia. I went to demolition school up in Fort Lee, Virginia. I went to mountain climbing school in Camp Hale, Colorado. And I'm a qualified mule skinner. They got mules. In those days, they had mules. Well, they disbanded the mules, and they've got mules in the Special Forces right now in Afghanistan. Them four-wheelers can't get back into the mountains, and they've got mules. So
Man.
Camp Hill, Colorado, Leadville, Colorado, they got mule skinner schools for special forces. And it's amazing that they still
it
have
is.
it. No, they have.
You have to learn to work a mule.
Oh, yeah. Mule is real stubborn.
Yes, they are. I played basketball on one time.
Okay.
No,
That
it's
was a donkey.
I'm sorry, yeah.
So anyway, that's how you get qualified. That I got qualified, and then after I got qualified, I got to branching out into different parts of the world. And I've been served. My services consist of many parts of the Southeast Asia. I was from Burma up to Mandalay, on the border into China, on the Burma Road, from up in Africa, Kano, Nigeria, way up north part of Africa. I've been there.
Goodness gracious.
I've been I was in Vietnam as a civilian, Mr. Taylor. Got many operations. I have a crypto clearance when I retired out of the military. Crypto clearance is higher than a top secret background investigation.
My gosh.
And I've got a lot of clearance, a lot of movies, a lot of things. 4 years in Vietnam.
Tell us some stuff. Some top secret
I
stuff.
want to find out how about the pallbearer.
Oh, okay.
And then we can do that.
I want to know the top
He's-
secret stuff.
Well, he can't tell you that. I don't
Oh.
believe. But
Maybe some of it's been
There you go.
declassified.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'd say it has.
Yeah.
But anyway, that after all of my time that I've spent overseas, from Okinawa back to Korea, and all this time in missions that I had been on, I was walking down the street at noon, about noon, one day from the mess hall, and they come over the loudspeaker and said, "Sergeant Taylor, report to the personnel office." And I reported up to the office, and there they was. They had us orders cut out, uniforms ready to put us on, and I was selected to go to be part of President Kennedy's ceremony. And we were his boys, really. A lot of us has been up to the Capes where he was at and all this other stuff. And he's the one that gave us the Green Berets. He's the one that done everything for the Special Forces, President Kennedy was. And they wanted Special Forces to be part of it. They didn't know where Special Forces could integrate within the honor guard that they have there. And that's all they do is stand at attention and salute, and they don't make a mistake. And that's the Navy, Army, Air Force, and Coast Guards. They have them units there to participate in all the ceremonies they have, all the dignitaries and so forth that visit Washington, D.C. They didn't know where these Green Berets could
be disciplined enough.
disciplined enough to get in there. But we got in there, and I don't think there was I don't recall that there was ever a mistake made in steps, saluting, or anything else. We just fell right in line because that's part of our training that we took. We could take if you infiltrate into a country, you've got to know their traditions, associate with their agriculture and every other thing, and we just fell right in line with them, and it was just perfectly right on down the line. And we had a lot of dignitaries there. We had Haile Selassie from down in South America. He had ribbons running face belt buckled his shoulder. I've been as close to him as I am to you. You had de Gaulle. De Gaulle was a French Foreign Legion, and he was a great historical combat veteran serving with the French Foreign Legion. And he's been as close to me and you. Now, to beat it all, he stopped right in front of me during the time that we was in the line going up to the cemetery, to the grave. I have a lot of foreign decorations of jump wings, and he was a great parachutist.
Oh.
And he wanted to see what those wings were, and he looked at me just like this from top to bottom. And then
Check
he
you
went
out.
on, yeah. And but the thing about it, it was hard to keep control of yourself emotionally. Walking down Pennsylvania Avenue, I was the second man back on the caisson, seeing the people on the street, weeping and going on and so forth. But what got my attention to keep it off of the public was that black horse behind, had the boots in the saddle, and they were turned around.
Yeah.
And that horse was really cutting up and going, making noise and so forth. And I like to hear that horse. And every time I'd hear him, that would get my attention away so I could continue on performing my duty.
Yeah, that had to be just a tremendously emotional experience.
It
no doubt.
was. It was hard to control yourself. And what it was, when we left Pope Air Force Base in North Carolina, the people that was going to go on guard, when we got in Maryland, they took them right off the plane, put them on the bus, and took them from the bus and put them on their job. And you would stand at that casket and you'd count 125 and you'd come to a parade rest. You'd count 125 and you'd come to attention. And you'd done that for 30 minutes. And to fall in line with that, we were well disciplined bunch of soldiers. And at the present time, I think that we have a reunion every year, and I think I must rank in Summers in the top 10, or maybe a little bit more of the original one that's living in the present time today. And when we do go there, I'm usually recognized at the banquet, and
That's just amazing.
And I have a good time. And at the museum, they have a museum in Fayetteville, North Carolina, consists of special operation groups, they call them now. And it takes up about 2 square blocks. They have C-46 dropped them from the ceiling. They have the helicopter dropped them from the ceiling, and it's unbelievable. It'll take you all day to go through it. And it's right on Main Street in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And it takes up the 82nd Airborne Division, all history of the airborne and so forth. Mm-hmm. And we have some great people that's come from this county that has been in the airborne. I don't know, a lot of people knows him from over here in Jenkins, I'm sure. Raymond Smith. He worked at Southeast Coal Company for many years. And I happened to be there. I knew Raymond. They invited me, Raymond Smith, and Woody McKinney from Fleming and Neon to participate in the 101st Airborne Division Activation Day. And we went down there, and I associated with Raymond, but I never did know either him or Woody, either one, their complete background. But anyway, a couple of years ago, I was down at Fort Bragg, North Carolina at Fayetteville, and they have patches that you see on my shoulder here on plaques going up through to entrance to the museum. And at the last one they had up there said original Pathfinders. And I got to look at that, and there was 17 of them. And I got to look at that, and it said PFC Raymond Smith. I said, God, that boy's from my hometown. And he was PFC. He was a Pathfinder. He made the Normandy invasion. And the Pathfinder is what they do. They go in first, and they get down there, and then they set up a T. And then when the main bodies come over here, that's when they exit out. So they went in the Pathfinder. It shocked me.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
People don't know, do they?
No, they sure don't, do they?
They don't know.
History of this county is unbelievable. We got a man in Whitesburg, Loeb Collins. His wife just died recently. She was a full colonel in the Army. He met her in the Army. And they were only 5 combat jumps made during World War II. And Loeb Collins made all 5 of them. He made 3 in Europe and 2 in the Far East.
Can you believe
And
that?
he's a legend. He's there at Whitesburg. We have many servicemen in this county that should be recognized, and I hope I can recognize them down the line. Mm-hmm. We have a boy from Millstone that went in the service with me at the same time with Donnie Menning, George Wojciechowski, his brother, and the Mullins boy, Kinser boys, and all of them. We went together. He went in, and he went into the Navy. And he was the only hard hat deep sea diver that they are in the state of Kentucky. I guess in a lot of places, but he was a hard hit sea diver. They interviewed him from the Community Press just recently, and he wrote a real article in there that said from the beautiful tops of the mountains of eastern Kentucky to the bottom of the ocean. And his name is Joe Bates.
Joe Bates.
Yeah, and he was from Millstone. Later on, moved up to Whitaker, and he has great history behind him. That's another one of our veterans that we have, and we have a Smallwood. He lived in Whitesburg, and I think he lived in Fleming Neon. He has a son that's he's on the council at Fleming Neon now. I believe that Smallwood's got 3 Silver Stars. He's got 2 Silver Stars and 3 Purple Hearts in World War II.
Wow.
So that
And
must
we've
be
got,
Billy Smallwood's dad.
That's it. That's who it is.
Billy's the
Yeah,
one that's on
yeah,
the
yeah.
neon
3
city.
Purple Hearts.
I believe
My
it's 3
gosh.
people. He's a highly decorated soldier.
My goodness.
We have a lot of
I would have wanted to stop after 1 Purple Heart.
We have a lot of soldiers from Jenkins that I have never got to get involved within the Jenkins. And the reason that we have so many servicemen from Jenkins during World War II, down in the lower end of the county, you only had a couple of mines. Starting from Thornton, this way, it's unbelievable. We had 7 mines from within a 3-mile radius from Millstone to Seco. And this is where all your population was at. And this is what I haven't got into Jenkins yet, and I hope that people in the ex-servicemen in Jenkins get involved into my museum. They bring something down to me, let me buy it to put it in the museum. I'll give them a receipt for it, and if they want it, they can come and get it. It's better for them to be laid there and say, this is my daddy here, this is my grandfather. Look at that, there he is in that museum. And I hope that museum will be a permanent fixture, because the physical court has got money set aside to me, and I've got some funds that's coming here shortly. And it'll be great, rather than to have it in your smokehouse or hanging up
Have it where
someplace.
some people can enjoy it.
Enjoy it and say, that's my grandfather, that's my great-grandfather, look at that.
I'm sure Rick has already thought of this, but we have a heritage series, and I think we just got one.
I think we just got us a show.
Yeah,
We can go down there
if we
and
could go visit your museum.
give us a
Rick
tour
can-
of it,
Very
maybe.
good. I
Maybe a
would be
tour?
more than glad to
Yeah.
have you
And,
down
and
to
we'll do a show
Fantastic.
on it.
And I'd love for you to come, just let me know, and I'd love for any organizations, your Girl Scouts, your Boy Scouts, your Masonic Lodges, anything, get together and come down and visit the museum. It's history.
Now, where's it located at again?
It's in the top floor of the old post office on Main Street.
Right on Main Street, White Spring.
Yeah, and you can park
Okay.
right around the back. It's got a handicap ramp and everything to it.
Great.
It's got heating and all. And I've got things in there leading back from Letcher County. We have a company of Letcher County of 19 and 17 that was sent from here to Stanton, Kentucky, and from Stanton they went to Alabama and went from Alabama to France.
Wow.
J.D. Maggard on Cumberland River. You've heard of him? He was a sergeant in that outfit. We have many Webb boys from up on Bottom Fork that was a platoon leader as lieutenant. I have their pictures, the history behind them, and all.
And you can see this stuff in the museum, right?
I'll have it there now.
Fantastic.
And I have uniforms. I have one boy I was trying to think of his first name, from Mac Roberts. He brought in a uniform. He was a sailor. And he had told one of the guys that I had working for me, Doug Wright. By the way, I love to have the three people. I got Doug Wright and Buddy Grubbs. It's really helping me in this project. But
Thank you,
anyway, he
Doug,
brought
buddy.
that uniform in and gave it to me to hang up. I got it hang up. And he was in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. He's a Wilson, and I can't get a hold of him to get a history behind it. Everything that I have in that museum is self-explanatory. I've got anything you see on the wall, it's got who would give it to you and the history behind it. In other words, you can go in the museum and nobody has to show you nothing. It's
just
all
look around.
self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You just make yourself at home. Veterans Day, I had over 400 people come in that museum.
Whoa.
400 people come
And
in
it's,
that
it's
museum.
practically brand new, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I started September the 13th.
Oh.
So it's real
it's
new.
newer than I thought it was.
Yeah. Tell you something else about
And I have
the-
another, since I'm going on this, I have another one. I got on the radio and I was having trouble with people getting in, bringing stuff into the museum, to put it on display. And I having trouble getting uniforms. And I was asking for an Air Force uniform and a Marine Corps uniform. And I went back home that night and I got my telephone ring and said, Ben said, I've got a Marine Corps uniform that I want to give to you for the museum. I said, ma'am, I appreciate that very much. But she said, once I give it to you, I don't want to never see it again. I said, there must be a history behind this uniform. Would you care to tell me about it? She said, yes. So her husband went into the Marine Corps. It's one of them blue uniforms, real nice. And he got killed. And they had a son. And their son joined the Marine Corps. And he come home and got his father's uniform and took it back with him and had it altered and cut down. And he got killed. And I have in that museum, I have that uniform, I have the father, I have the son, and I have the certificate where the Department of the Army informed her of each one of them's death.
Oh, man.
And I've got stuff like that, it's unbelievable. And getting back to this Whitaker from Wilson, I believe he is, from Mac Roberts, if he's out there someplace, I wish you'd give me a call or something, because they have stripes on their uniform. They have gold stripes that is perfect service. And they have red stripes that you've been in trouble someplace along the line. Not big trouble, but you've been in trouble a little bit.
Okay, all right.
So, but
I
he
didn't
has,
know that.
Yeah, but
now
he,
we know what to look for.
so he has gold stripes on his uniform, and I don't have anything, the history behind it, but I do know that he was in 3 wars.
Well, now, we're on over in Mac Roberts. If you want to give your number out, maybe he's watching, he could call you.
Well, but appreciate me calling me. I'm in the phone book. It's
Okay.
855-4606 or 632-1200.
So if you want to donate anything or you want some information about the
That's-
museum, give him a call.
Give me a call at any time. I'll come and pick it up. I'll give you a receipt for it, and you can come to the museum and look at it. And it's better for it to be hanging there and displayed there than it would be in your closet or down. And I left a mission again about Winston Mead. He's done a real job for the veterans in this county. And I'd love to mention about the veterans of this county that belongs to these organizational clubs. That's what they're for. They're here for to help the community.
Well,
Yeah,
I want to point something out today, but moving on just a little bit here. Now, you were sheriff in Letcher County for 8 years, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And in the city of Jenkins, now I'm not positive on this, but I think he is maybe the only sheriff who's ever carried all 5 precincts in the city of Jenkins. So that's a big accomplishment right
I have
there.
a lot of good friends in Jenkins. They're a lot of good boys. I used to come over here and sit, and I enjoy coming over and sitting at the Hardee's over and talking to your mayor, to your sheriff, and the whole bunch of them. I just enjoy talking to the old. I say old. I'm as old as they are, I guess.
Well, I've been when I found out you was going to come on the show. I've been asking around for some stories on you locally. Has Ben ever get any trouble? Because I know he had a lot of roadblocks, and he really
Well,
helped.
he has perfect gold stripes.
Perfect gold stripe. So this is the story that I heard, and I don't want to put you on the spot here, but
But you're going to
I'm
anyway.
going to
Yeah.
anyway. There is a rumor, a tale that is being circulated, and has been that you got a speeding ticket over in Wise. And when the cop give you a ticket, you said, but I just wasn't paying attention. I was going downhill. And he said, well, the speed limit is the same going up the hill as it is coming down the hill. And I heard that you went over to try to get out of the ticket, naturally. And you went over in your sheriff's uniform. You thought, these guys will understand. And the judge, he said, no, it ain't going to help you a bit. So the judge went ahead and you had to pay the ticket. And I reckon that for some reason you kept having roadblocks up the top of the hill up here until you finally caught, I think his son-in-law is what they said. And the judge called over to see if you'd help him on the ticket. And you said, listen, the laws are the same in Virginia as they are in Kentucky. So.
That's good. I guess some prophecies could be true.
Well, things like that do happen, Ben, I'll tell you. But I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah.
But I enjoyed being sheriff of Letcher County, and I worked hard at it, and I feel good. I accomplished a lot of things. I had an old drug bust. You might have heard about it. I had a drug bust with all kinds of paraphernalia in it and all kinds of different drugs, and I visited every school in this county, and presented it to them, what it was, how easy it is to get on it, and what it looks like, and so forth. I felt good about my sheriff days, but I don't want to be sheriff no more.
You're not going to run again.
I don't want no politics whatsoever.
I can't say as I blame you.
Of course, we have to have them, but I
Of course,
don't want to be involved in it.
Yeah.
But I was proud that I served my country for 25 years, and I felt good about it. I've accomplished a lot of things. I'm very proud of it. And I served my county for 8 years. And I think that the good master is taking care of me. And during my combat days, I've prayed, I've cried, and I've done everything in the world, and I've survived, and I come back home, and I've survived again. I've survived cancer. I've survived a heart bypass, and I survived a gallbladder operation and so forth. So I think that the good master's been looking at me.
Well, you still look healthy and go get them. I think you probably
That's
find
just
another
appearance,
board.
I tell you. You jump out of airplanes as long as I have. I jumped 25 years, and I'll never forget the first jump I made, and I'll never forget the last jump I made. And I just enjoyed it, and if I was physically enabled, I'd love to jump today. It makes you feel bad that you serve with an elite bunch of men, and you're leaving them. And the majority of the people that I serve with, they retired around a military base, and they wound up, not too good in life. And it makes you feel bad. You go back and see them there, they're sitting with a cup of coffee or something in their hand, and see how they done and what their life has progressed on. And I just got away from that, but I enjoyed my military career, and I enjoyed serving my county, and I hope that I can do it. But looking at me outside, I might look all right except my stomach, but I'm beat all to pieces inside.
Got one of those too. If I saw Rick looking at his watch, so I guess we're
No,
probably,
we get
got a
close to
little
the
time.
end. We got about
Okay.
10 minutes.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, going back to President Kennedy's case on, and of course, I was a kid at the time, and it affected the nation in a way that I guess we've never been affected before, because this was the first national broadcast on TV that was live continuously, the very first one. And the TV networks were barely on the air with antiquated equipment and all that sort of thing. And I didn't know it, but I was watching you. I mean, people were glued to the TV sets, and I was watching you carry that casket down Washington, Pennsylvania. Thank you. And I just want to know how. I mean, you said the horse caught your attention and helped you keep going, but what were your emotions at the time?
Oh, I was really hurt because he was he was a great man, and we were his boys. We were his. And when he come to North Carolina, he always come to Special Forces. He always. And anytime that he'd have something going on up in the Cape, he'd always invite some of the boys up there to go on a fishing trip with him and all. He was a great man. You know, we had 4 presidents killed, assassination.
4 presidents killed by, well, Lincoln would be 1.
Lincoln.
Of course, Kennedy was 2. Who's the other 2?
Was Adams. I've got them in my museum down. I got the book.
Okay.
And I've got all of this. You're talking about Kennedy. I've got a whole table set up of personal stuff that my mother-in-law had kept. I have 7 newspapers from 7 different states pertaining to this. November the 23rd, 1963. And they're hanging up in the museum where you can look at the front of them and you can go on back and look at the back of them. And I have a whole table of this set up. That museum's unbelievable, folks. I'll tell you, if you want to get a chance, you come down and visit. It's nothing, it's all original. I mean, it's nothing.
No phony baloney.
No, it's all right there, and it's good. And I love to see a lot of people. I love to get involved, and Jenkins getting involved in there because they got a lot of great soldiers come from Jenkins and Mac Roberts and so forth to give me a lot of stuff, give me a lot of information to put into the museum. I mean, because I'm a Weissenberg, it don't mean that I'm not a little partial to Jenkins.
Well, I tell you, one of the great benefits of this job is to meet some great people, of which you're one. And I was covering, they had built a wall at Cumberland Boat Park in Jonesville for the veterans, and it was brand new, and we were covering that on HTV. And I got to talk to off camera and then interview him on camera, the guy who cut the wire on the invasion of Normandy. You saw it in Saving Private Ryan.
Wow.
You know, the guy goes in, he's cutting the wire. I met the guy who actually did that.
Wow.
And you know, you get to meet a lot of great people like you. And
before we get off, I'd like to explain something to you. Each one of these stripes here are 3-year service. And each one of these stripes here is 6 months in combat. This little thing here is a ruptured duct, they call it. They give it to you as when you got discharged after the Korean War and World War II. And all these patches that you see on them, I served in this. I served in this one here, I served in this one here. This is Special Forces, and this is the 503rd Regiment I was in. This is the little patch that you wear on your head.
Okay.
And on this side here, you can see some of the rest of them, American flags. And these are little discs that you wear on your beret and so forth.
I see Special Forces there.
And then on the back of it here.
Oh, there's more. Oh, my goodness.
I sort of like to show with some of the units that I had served with. You can see them there. The 11th Airborne Division, 82nd Airborne Division, Special Forces. 77th Special Forces was the first Special Forces that we had. And originated off the 77th, these others originated on. The first one that come off of it was the 10th Special Forces, and I've served in all of those. And I went from 56 to 71. I was a Ranger, Green Beret, and Halo, high altitude, low opening. You had a Mullins boy here was a great skydiver.
Winston?
I guess it was. I don't remember. He was an officer, but I never did get a chance to meet him at Fort Bragg. But he was a Halo. He come in after I did. I think he joined maybe he joined the Golden Knights. I don't know where he did or not, but he was a great scout. But I went, they kept me going someplace, but I'm a Halo qualified. And what is Halo is high altitude, low opening. They go in with B-52 bomber runs, and they go out the bomb bay door, and they form and simulate on the ground and go out and form a guerrilla type operations.
Wow.
So that's my jacket I have.
We're talking about coordination. That would take coordination.
Oh God, falling down through the air so you jump about 17,500 feet and you fall down, you try to get into about 700 to 500 feet before you pull your chute. You got a lollipop, a stopwatch. You go down so low and your lollipop will pop out and he'll pop your chute if you don't pop it. And you got a stopwatch and an altimeter that you watch when you fall through the air. You pretty well know where you're at. But keeping in contact with the individuals.
Yeah, you gotta be in formation when you hit the ground.
Because if you don't, one of them might hit over here at the service station, the other might hit down here, and you're in enemy territory.
Yeah.
So you got to keep all together on the ground to organize and develop. And
How many jumps would you say that you've made? Do you have any
oh
idea?
hell, I made my first jump in 1949, made my last in 1971.
Okay.
And you didn't count them as you went, did
No,
you?
I'm sure you
You remember the first and last one.
I remember the first and last, I had a big old, we jumped out of C-46s, and you had a jump master at the door, and he tapped you and you went out. Well, it's my time to shuffle up and go in the door, and a big old Indian boy, me and him was friends, and he shuffled up and got in the door, and I seen the jump master tap him, and he went out. And I said to myself, well, I'll look out the door and see if his chute opened. If it did, I'll jump. Well, I stuck my head up during that prop blast. I didn't jump. That prop blast jerked me out. So I got out there and the chute was open. But the last jump that I made was, I felt real bad about it. I was really hurt. A lot that I knew that was the last jump that I'd ever make.
Oh.
And how I enjoyed it. I enjoyed jumping. Jumping never did bother me whatsoever. And I've been beat up, broke legs, broke shoulder arms, collarbone, tailbone, everything else. So I've been.
And you enjoyed it?
Oh, I did enjoy jumping. I love jumping. It was
They make them
good.
tough in Letcher County.
Apparently so, yeah.
I love jumping. I enjoyed it. Of course, there was moments that you have, a lot of times that you look out sometimes and, according to how you feel or what you're doing, you got to be in good shape. And I guess that's the reason I'm surviving all the problems, the medical problems that I have now. Being in shape. I can remember every morning in my life I used to get up and run 5 miles. Didn't have no choice. Do 50, 75 push-ups, squat jumps just to beat you all to pieces. You couldn't eat breakfast. If you did eat breakfast, it's outside on the ground someplace. But keeping a good physical shape is, I believe, that's my survival today. And coming from the part of the country that I come from is another one that I believe that I survived my combat days.
Now, why is that? Why do you
Well,
say that?
it's the environment that you're in the mountains. You take a city boy, he never gets to climb a mountain or go up a hill or go down a hill. Hell, don't even know how to climb a mountain.
Or play in the woods.
No, I play in the woods or nothing else. Make bow and arrows, or throw rocks, sling shots, or shoot birds or nothing, And that's mountain boys
That's a
we
good
have
point.
there.
So you had heads up on them when you got there, didn't you?
That's exactly right. So that's the reason I believe I survived a lot of it, coming from this area. And I'm very proud to come from this area. I'm very proud of this area. It's been good to me.
Well, you've been good to Ed, and I do want to thank you for your service to our country and to our county.
Appreciate that.
We're about out of time here, Ben, so before we go, is there anything else you'd like to say before we go
No,
ahead?
I just enjoy it. I just enjoy serving my country and my county, and I enjoy being here at Jenkins. They're good people here in Jenkins, and I left for the people in Jenkins and people in Letcher County to support the museum. And I want to do my best to have a good museum and have recognized for our grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, to come up and say, that's my dad or that's my grandpa, have history in that museum. And it's going to be permanent.
Well, thank you for being on the show. It was an honor to meet you today,
Thank you,
sir.
thank you.
Well
Very
put, well said.
Thank you.
And next week on Friday Live, I believe we're going to have some members of the Jenkins City Council on, so you can look forward to that, and we will see you next week.
Have a good week.